Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming this evening. Tonight we're going to give you some information about a program which we're all very excited about here at the school. We're talking about focused cohort programs for next year for your sons who are currently in grade 9 moving into grade 10. I'm going to give a brief sort of overview of what's going to happen this evening. We're going to talk about what is a cohort and how it fits into the grade 10 year, what it might look like for a particular program. We're going to go through a common application program, which will apply to all 4 programs. You'll see how that fits in. We're going to have some students talk about their experience. And then I'm going to introduce the faculty who are here and give you the locations of where they are going to be presenting. Just so you know, each of the cohort presenters are going to run through their program twice. So if you're interested in more than one program, you'll get to hear from those 2 programs. We are going to stream these as well. We're going to record the information that's given so you have an opportunity to review any of that or look at a third program if you need to. So just to give it a sort of brief history of how we get to this place, the Discovery program, which I'm sure most of you are familiar with, started back in 2001. Neil Pillar, who is our current Director of Operations, started that program. And the idea was to take a small group of about 20 grade 10 students and give them a slightly different experience for the year, based on the outdoor education program. But the main reason for that was to try and develop their inter- and interpersonal skills as well as leadership potential. That program has now been running for 15 years. It's gone through a few iterations, but the basic program is still the same. It's a program in outdoor leadership, and it incorporates all of those things that I've just mentioned. And then around about 2 years ago, we realized that the Discovery program was highly successful. We said, okay, how do we expand this program? So 2 years ago now, and then obviously starting this year, we had the Connect 10 program. And you may well be aware of at least hearing that name around. It literally did start on a napkin, and it has now evolved into the program that we have this year. Just realized you can't quite see that. That is Daniel Tepperson with a chicken. So how the connection comes in there, I'm not too sure. But it's a reality. I just picked a slide that I liked. It's a reality this year, and we're 2/3 of the way through that program, and it's been a very, very good experience for those boys, as you will hear. Because of that, the success, obviously, of Discovery and then of Connect really taking off this year, we looked at expanding the program. So we now, as you will have heard through the boys themselves and through the e-news and some direct communications from myself and Mr. Johnson, we have 2 new programs. We'll talk a little bit more about those, obviously, but Express 10, Drama 10, theatre expression-based cohort, and Fusion 10, which, if you're familiar with the acronym of STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, it's kind of along those lines. And so we'll be presenting all of those for today. Right now, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Sam Johnson, who's done a lot of work in getting these 2 new programs up and running this year. He'll talk a little bit about the philosophy and how the structure of each cohort might work. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks very much for coming. I apologize for the voice. It just decided not to work today. Excuse me. So thank you very much for coming and taking an interest in your son's education. We are at a very interesting time in human history where the jobs of tomorrow really aren't as certain as they once were. And also the access to information and knowledge that we have and that our children have is greater than it's ever been. The barriers have been broken down, and our children are part of a global conversation that really, really they haven't been able to be that way before. And we need to give them skills to navigate this increasingly open and complex world. what we want to do is give them the ability to connect, to build relationships, and to make the world a better place. Sitting in rows and writing tests really isn't going to cure cancer or make world poverty a thing of the past. We want and need to reorganize our traditional classes and give students the time and space to really roll up their sleeves, dig in, and tackle real-world problems. At the same time, we also want to provide them an environment where they feel it's okay if they don't get the right answer. Frankly, sometimes there isn't a right answer, especially with these complex problems that we have these days. I'm new here. This is my very first year. And I have to say, I've been absolutely blown away with the innovation that I've seen coming to this school. It makes me want to go back to high school, almost. So you're here tonight to learn about cohorts. What is a cohort? Anyone? Any ideas? Cohort? All right. No takers? Oh, we got a hand up over there.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it stems from some ancient military deal where they where they would put soldiers into a certain group in a cohort, if you will, to decimate certain abilities and whatnot. Yeah.
All right. I don't actually know if that's Tom's saying it's true. All right, it's true. Dr. Matthews, thank you. It is a way for us to reorganize learning. And so one of the things that Discovery and Connect did, and now we've got 2 new ones, which are very exciting, is to take a group of students and put them in a number of classes together. I'm going to bring up an example of the course schedule so you can sort of get an idea of what they're doing. But the idea is that roughly 20 students take several of their courses together. And on the cohort day, so you'll see for Discovery, that's a day 1, and for Connect, it's a day 2. All of those classes are taken by the same students with the same teacher. And what is a beautiful thing about of those cohort days is all of those students see one another for 3 blocks in a row to do with their cohort. So in Discovery, they've got Discovery 10, they've got PE 10, they've got Socials 10, they've got Science 10. All of those teachers teach that same group of kids, and they're able to break down the walls between classrooms and really integrate a lot of the content and skills that the students are learning. Each cohort comes at their curriculum from a different lens. So Discovery comes from that outdoor ed leadership and sustainability lens. Connect 10 comes from the global mindedness lens. Fusion that Dr. Webster talked about was STEM, science, tech, engineering, and math. And of course, the Express 10 is about performance and performing arts and how they can access that curriculum and develop those skills using that particular lens. Part of it's done through scheduling. The other part is through planning, the teachers together planning these opportunities for authentic connections between their curriculum and real-world problems. And I'm going to let them speak for themselves. In just a few minutes, you'll be able to get out and go see that. But before that happens, we're going to get some students up to talk about their experiences in the Connect cohort and in the Discovery cohort. And after this is done, you'll be able to move off and learn about those individual cohorts. But if you have any questions, Dr. Webster and I will be here if you have sort of general questions about the cohorts and this whole process. Anyway, thank you very much for coming, and we're excited to have you here and have you learn a little bit more about this. Thanks.
That's mine. Okay, so you've heard from us. Let's hear from these guys. We've got Brennan from Discovery. and Lachlan from Connect. So you guys want to come up and give this a whirl? Oh, I put your pictures up, did I? Oh, was that embarrassing? Oh, sorry.
Just a little bit, sir. I do appreciate the thought, though. Thank you. Hi, everyone. As you can probably tell, my name is Brendan C. I'm currently a student in Discovery. So I was just here to give you guys today a little look at what it's like being a student in a cohort and just sort of how that works exactly compared to, regular everyday classes. First thing that obviously you'll notice is that I spend every other day and one block of the off days with the same 20 guys day in, day out in every single class. And I think a lot of people can get a little apprehensive because you don't know who's going to be in your class until, the first day of school. So, there's a chance that, you might see some people that you don't necessarily get along with too well. And the great thing about being in a cohort like this is that you get to be able to figure out why, necessarily you might not get along and really bond with people that you don't normally talk to outside of your normal social groups. And, there can be conflict and there can be dislike and, mistrust, but you can... I've seen it, actually more than you'd expect. But you're able to learn to figure out how to work with people that you don't usually get to talk to and break it down and, learn to work with everybody, not just people that you want to work with. And then, another great thing is because you've broken down those walls, you get to be able to be closer with everybody, especially, speaking from Discovery, we're out in the field, literally, 55 days of the year. So I see the same 20 guys for 24/7 for a week, a little less. Coming up in May, we're gone for 3 weeks. So it's pretty intimate. In terms of cohorts in general, it's a little more taxing in terms of school curriculum because you have these extra enrichment opportunities, but you still have to keep up with the regular grade 10 curriculum. But the teachers understand that you have these extra things that you have to go through, and they're able to separate that from just thinking you're a regular student, and will give you the extra help, the extra assistance to still excel in all of your classes. Another big issue that a lot of people probably considered and a lot of teachers have heard before is sports commitments. A lot of people at Saints are very into a sport, and it's as difficult as it is to manage. As long as you've got that skill down in managing how you deal with schoolwork and sports and a cohort, it's an amazing opportunity to have to first figure out and learn those types of skills, and then be able to still do everything that you have any interest in. And if you're only here just thinking about applying, I think what you should, if you're still a little bit apprehensive here and there, still apply and see how it goes. Then
Hi, everyone. Catch that. My name is Lachlan Scott, as you can tell from that wonderful photo. And I'm part of Connect 10. So I'm just here to talk to you about what it's like being in a cohort. So when you join a cohort at the beginning of the year, it's a little tough because you're in a situation where you're with all these new students from different social groups in the school that you maybe don't know that well, and people that you've never hung out with or maybe never even talked to before. So, and over the course of the year, you develop great relationships with these people. You spend every second day with them. and you become to know them really well, and maybe people that you never would have talked to before, or you wouldn't have known them, but over the course of the year, you really understand who they are and create really strong friendships with those people. Being with the same teachers for most of the year, they understand who you are and what you need to do to be successful in class. They can truly enhance your learning because they understand what you need to do to be successful compared to other students. And I find that in like in a situation where you're not in a cohort, the teachers don't maybe know you as well. Being in the cohort also allows teachers to link all the courses together. So, for example, over the past term, our topic was trees, which is about sustainability in the environment. And from science, we studied ecosystems and biomes, and in English, we read The Golden Spruce by John Valiant. And in socials, we studied the Walburn Valley, crisis. So we trying to find the words to describe this. Like studying the old growth forest, you linked everything together and you understood the topic much better. And then also being in a cohort, you're offered a unique learning experience. So in the case of Connect, our learning isn't always in the classroom. We spend time on field trips in other learning facilities such as the Academy Tomorrow, going on field trips to the Malcolm Knapp Research Center. We also expand on topics to a global level to better our learning and understanding of our topics. So I hope all you guys take the opportunity of a cohort. It's a great experience in grade 10, and you learn a lot about yourself and the people around you. So thanks.
Thank you, Brennan. Thank you, Lachlan. Before we separate off into the different cohorts, I'm going to invite Mr. Alan Hesketh just to come forward. He's done a great job in providing us with a sort of common application process. You'll get more information about this, but we wanted to show the students how after tonight you'll be able to log on. There's some common information and then specific to each program. So I'm going to hand it to Alan, and it should
fire up.
Go in there, yeah.
See if we can make it work. Maybe. Oh, I get to do it on the side. Lucky me. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're in. So once you leave here tonight, you'll be looking to start those applications, which are due in several weeks. And it's a good idea to go have a look at the application form, and students download the information that you're going to have to complete. There are a number of questions, and it is going to take you some time to do that. So get started on it early and know what those expectations are. To find the page, you're going to go under the Senior School Academics tab, and then Grade 10 Cohorts is one of the options. That will load up to this page here. On the right-hand side is the application form. So you'll open up that page. Log in with your regular school email account information. I'm going to log in as myself. And then you're presented with one button. It's pretty simple. Click the button. All right, it's going to walk you through, there's about 5 different steps that go into the process. So it's filled in a little bit of information for you. You'll notice that I have the wonderful student number 1234. I paid extra for that. I'm going to put my my mom in there as my parent, and I actually forget what her email address is, so I'll put mine in instead. I mean, that's terrible. That's terrible. So you enter the parent email address, and the reason for that is because parents, you're going to receive a form once the application's complete that allows you the opportunity to provide some input as well. So there's a checklist that it'll ask you to complete that talks a little bit about your child, and there's an opportunity to fill in a box with some comments. And it's also a check that you know which programs your son is actually applying for. We're going to ask students to please outline the activities, the sports, the clubs, the arts involvement that they've got, both inside and outside of school. And that's common for all of the applications. We're interested in knowing what the students are involved in. So you'll fill that portion in. And then at the bottom, choose the programs that you would like to apply for. Now, I'm really ambitious tonight. I'm going to apply for everybody. Yeah. Continue on to the next step. It's going to ask you now to rank your priority for those programs. It gives us an idea of where your interest actually lies in case you do choose to apply to all 4 programs. Please rank those programs, whichever ones you would like, as your first, second, third, and fourth choice. Some of you will try to cheat and put first choice for all. I already thought of that plan. Then it's going to open up for you different buttons, and each one of these buttons leads you to the application form that has questions specific to that program. I'm going to start with the Fusion one at the bottom here because it's kind of got a blended application process. I click on that. It's going to ask you a series of questions that you complete the answers to. So it's asking you which math course you're taking and the teacher. Just type that into the box. Any relevant past experiences that make you a good candidate, write that in there. Skills and attributes you already have. All of these questions you're going to provide answers to. There's also, at the bottom of the page, a small assignment for you to do. So what you will need to do is access this file that outlines what the design challenge actually is. Download that file, read through it, complete the assignment. It's all outlined there. There's links provided to the different files that you might need. Save this document, and then you're going to upload it back on the management page here. So you'll find that file on your computer. Oh, look, we're going to use fair funding. No, we're going to use this one. Choose. And you're going to upload that document. Once you've gone through and you've checked that all of your answers are exactly as you'd like them to be and the file is exactly as you'd like it to be, choose that you are finished this application, that pink box at the bottom of the page, and save it one more time. What you'll see is that your Fusion application is now complete. You're going to do the same thing with all of the other applications, so you don't have to do them all at once. You can come back another night and work on the Connect one. You can work on the Discovery one another night. You can always return to the file. It will save the work that you've done so far as long as you choose Save at the bottom of the page. Some of them are a little bit different. The Connect one has a lot more details in a file, and you'll have to actually prepare 3 separate files and upload those because they have different elements of the assignment they'd like you to do. Once you have chosen that all of the applications you've done are complete, I'm not going to get in with these terrible applications I'm putting in. There we go. Now there's an option at the bottom of the page to complete the application. So students, once you're satisfied, you click on that box. It will take you to the closing page where it asks you to acknowledge these pieces. You understand you're making a significant commitment to these programs, and then submit your application. That application has now been submitted. My mom is getting an email right now that asks my mom to click on a link. That link will open up that survey page so that parents, you have the opportunity to provide that input as well. Students, anytime you want to go back and edit your application, that is a possibility. You just log back into that page. If you do reopen the application after you submit it, it won't be processed, it won't be looked at by the selection teams until you have submitted it again. So make sure that you've arrived at this page at each time you reopen that application once you've submitted it for the first time. If you have questions about that, you will receive an email with a little bit more instruction once you start the application. Please do feel free to send any questions to that email and we'll respond to those as quickly as we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're back on here. Okay, now we get to the good bit. Okay, so you've heard a little bit about what a cohort is. The students have spoken. What I'd like to do now is sort of introduce each of the teams, which are going to talk to you in a little bit more detail, and where they are going to be. So We have Connect 10. I'm not expecting you to necessarily read that. This is basically just the blurb of information that I sent out to everybody in the last couple of weeks. But over here, if they could maybe stand up, is we've got Miss Sarah Coates, who's not here yet. She's coming. We've got Sarah McLean. We've got Norm Caitler, and we've got Mr. Dustin Hersey. They will be in the lecture room, which is on this floor, round towards the gym, so lecture room 115. That will be the Connect 10 program. We have the Discovery 10 program. They will be in the Socials Commons. Down here we've got Miss Katie Finley. Say hello. We've got Jay Kennedy, who's here, and we've got Miss Claudia Lutz as well. So they will be in the Socials Commons, which is on this floor to the right. Boys, you know where these things are. We have the Express 10 program. We have Mr. Robert Wisden and Mr. Wes Boys. They will be starting up again in here in about 5 minutes after we've finished in the auditorium. And finally, we have the Fusion 10 program, and we've got Mr. Mark Crompton, wave, Jordan Forseth, and Catherine Holman, and they will be in the Learning Commons upstairs. That's the library, right? Learning Commons upstairs. So, as I said, as Mr. Johnson mentioned at the beginning, if you do have specific questions about the program, each program will have a question and answer session built in after they've given you some information. If there's some more general stuff, I know that Sam and myself will remain here for the whole evening. We'll sort of be around, so if you need to ask a sort of more general question, maybe grab one of us. I will definitely be here in the auditorium when we sort of finish the whole thing if you need to find me. Again, thank you for coming. I would just like to recognize the fact that Mr. Kern and Dr. Matthews are here. Nothing like this happens without a lot of excitement from teachers, but also the support from the administration. And they have both been extremely supportive in this process, and I just thank them for being here tonight. And I thank you again for coming this evening. Here's a summary. Connect in the lecture theatre along to the left, Discovery in the Socials Commons to the right, Express in here, Fusion upstairs. They will do their presentations twice. They'll start in about 5 minutes, and then we'll reconvene, give you a chance to wander around, find the other presentation, and we'll go again. Any questions? We'll be around later, but thank you for this portion, and enjoy the next part. Thank you.